This is the revision timetable that I used in year 13 that allowed me to get 5 A stars in my A level. Or you know what, if it would help you sleep at night, 4 A stars and an A star in my EPQ. This video is for inspiration, not comparison. You might need to do more revision than this to get these grades. You might need to do less. You also might call me a neat, a sweat. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I got these grades because I worked hard for them. I was not born a genius. I am not that naturally intelligent. I had to put the work in and the revision schedule reflects that. Without further ado, let's get on with it. So first thing, I would always wake up at 7 o'clock and I would always eat breakfast first thing, always. And I'm never hungry first thing in the morning. I've been doing this for years and I just know that my body needs fuel. I always eat breakfast. I always eat some sort of slow release carbohydrate like porridge, Weetabix, egg on toast. Then I always get dressed and ready at 7:15 and I leave for sixth form at 7:45. Why so early, you ask? Because I do an independent revision session before school begins. I felt like I worked best in the morning. There weren't that many people in the library to distract me. So I would always finish textbook questions that I hadn't done. So even if we were just doing textbook questions in the class, I would make an effort to finish that exercise, even if it's not required of me. Or I would make flashcards or revision resources, or I would just do homework, depending on what I needed to do that day. And then from 9 until 4:30, I had my lessons, I had school, and I had free. And I did revision in my frees. Sometimes I went to McDonald's with my friends, I went to Subway, whatever it may be. But in year 13, more often than not, I was doing revision, especially towards exam season. And I would be at school between 9 and 4:30 every single day. As in, I knew I wouldn't do work at home and I had to make sure I used my frees to do revision. So then between 4:30 and 6, I would tend to focus on homework because I like to get my homework out of the way before the weekend so that at the weekend I could focus on actual revision. But if I had no homework, I would usually use this window to do some sort of revision. Anyway, 6 to 7, I had dinner and just relaxed. And then after 7 p.m, my day sort of started to vary a bit. So sometimes I studied and sometimes I did sport. So I am a badminton player. I used to play badminton. But if I was going to study, I would usually do it between 7 and 9. And I wouldn't spend that entire time revising. I might do an hour, I might do 2 hours. It would really depend. Did I have an end of topic test coming up? Was there something I was finding really difficult in school? And here are some of the things that I used to do. Sometimes it was just doing my EPQ and writing that. Sometimes it was watching a YouTube video on something or entering an essay competition. And then if I was playing badminton, I would go to badminton at 7 o'clock, stay until 9, 9:30. Sometimes I would study after, especially if I had a test, but that was not every day. Sometimes instead of doing this, I would just relax. Sometimes I might have needed a day off, and that's okay. If you found this video helpful, be sure to save it for later and follow for daily A-level tips.